By the way, the April 13th episode of Impact, Andrew Everett won the match that Andrew Everett won. That was for Andrew Everett to face Trevor Lee in the number one contenders match. But yeah, this is I'm reviewing now. Hold on a second. Sorry, I had a text message, but yeah, I was just making sure the show wasn't going to stop. But or whatever. Anyways, Karen Jarrett announced. That TNA, or now rebranded, the TNA company name. TNA is dead now, as Bruce Pritchard said at the new regime of TNA Impact in February or whatever, or March, whatever, April beginning, whatever. Anyways, the newly Impact was just the brand, but now they're using that as the company or whatever. But anyways, Impact Wrestling, or TNA Impact Wrestling, and Global Force Wrestling, Karen Jarrett just announced on April 20th, 2017 edition that they merged. Impact and Global Force Wrestling merged. So yeah, Global Force Wrestling ain't gonna happen and be on TV after all. But I found out they only had 16 TV tapings recorded out of all the GFW wrestling shows that were taped for TV. But they still did regular live event shows, and they did like independent events. They're basically actually not basically, they were an independent wrestling company that tried to become a television show, but that never happened. It's too bad, but I was kind of upset about it. But it's looking to be a good thing, but too bad they couldn't just release them online or something, or put them on Netflix. That would have been a good thing. They actually thought of doing that, or somebody talked about that. Yeah, I think Jeff Jarrett talked about that 2 years ago, or last year, year and a half, about GFW possibly being on Netflix. But anyways, yeah, they're merged, and it's a pretty good thing, though. Now you have GFW guys. I noticed this for the past 4 weeks. The past four or five shows that GFW guys coming into TNA on Impact Wrestling, But yeah, it's looking pretty good, Sanjay Dutt made his debut. He returned to TNA Impact Wrestling, and he wanted to be in the match for a triple threat match. He wanted to be in Andrew Everett and what do you call it? Oh yeah, Trevor Lee's match. He wanted to be a triple threat for the X Division Championship. Andrew Everett didn't want to hear it, and they were both out there while Karen Jarrett, she was out there. After she announced the merger or the merging and partnership, or the merging of Impact and Global Force Wrestling. They were out there after she said all that. And and I believe Trevor Lee and them came out, but you can watch the video. Welcome back, Sanjay Dutt on Impact Wrestling. Impact April 20th, 2017. You just search that video on Impact Wrestling's YouTube channel. Yeah. And I believe, it was Gregory Shane Helms came out, and Andrew Everett. Trevor Lee came out, and we're talking there to confront Trevor Lee. Andrew Everett and Sanjay Dutt, and kind of like is a confrontation, or they're talking and stuff, Anyways, like a dispute or whatever. But anyways, Bruce Pritchard came out and made it a 6-man match for the X Division Championship, and the Hurricane, Gregory Shane Helms, and Andrew Everett. Trevor Lee started attacking Andrew Everett and Sanjay Dutt. And I believe they came back and they got Trevor Lee out of the ring, and Andrew Everett. Gregory Shane Helms ran out of the ring. They showed a video of Moose getting attacked by Chris Adonis in Canada or somewhere at an independent wrestling show by Chris Adonis. Yeah, it showed Moose getting attacked. Showed Moose getting attacked by Chris Adonis, Chris Masters, and showed Chris Adonis show up. And Moose was talking. He was upset, wanted to face him next week. on the April 27th edition of Impact Wrestling. And remember, this is April 20th that's going on that I'm talking about. This is still April 20th, 2017 edition of Impact Wrestling. And Chris Adonis comes out and lied about Moose injuring him and said that it wasn't recorded on the footage or whatever, but making excuses and said that Moose would have an opponent though next week for the Impact Grand Championship instead of Chris Adonis. Moose was asking who it was. Moose was asking who it was and said, and then Davey Richards comes out and attacks Moose from behind and says that it's me, or I don't know, something like that, But yeah, Davey Richards attacked Moose from behind, and he walked out. Angelina Love was talking to Moose, and Davey Richards and Angelina Love walked off. Moose was down on the ground, looked pretty upset. Yeah. But we got that match to look forward to next on April 20th, 27th. Alberto Del Rio gave his thoughts on the world title, and saying that talking about how he wants to beat Bobby Lashley. He's talking about the match between James Storm and Bobby Lashley. If he faces James Storm, they could give the fans one heck of a match or something like that. But and he was thinking Bobby Lashley wins. He wants Bobby Lashley to win so he could beat Bobby like a dog or whatever. He wanted to kick Bobby Lashley's butt in a sense to say it, but because Bobby Lashley, he feels, messed him over in his world title victory on Alberto El Patron's debut match at Impact Wrestling, because Alberto El Patron was stripped a month and a half ago or so, and El Patron, he wants a TNA world title back. He won. He deserves it. He earned it. But how many times have we not seen Lashley mess over other guys? But yeah, most of the time he gets clean wins and he's real dominant. But El Patron, it's not right, in his way. But he should not cheat it either. But that's on him. But it's on Lashley too. But I don't think they should have stripped El Patron because they let Lashley get away with more than what Alberto El Patron did. By the way, Sienna and Karen Jarrett are talking backstage, and I think Karen Jarrett was talking to somebody else or doing something, but in his segment, I kind of forgot what was going on. But Sienna comes up and starts talking to Karen Jarrett, and she was talking about how they got all these GFW guys walking around, their Impact Wrestling TNA locker room, and she was saying that she can't wait to finally meet the GFW Women's Champion, and that she better watch out or whatever. And Sienna, has her eyes on her. She probably has her eyes on that championship too. And Jarrett was saying, "Don't worry." Karen Jarrett was saying, "Don't worry, she'll be here next week." We'll have to see what happens from there. To continue, April 20th, 2017, Impact Wrestling. Congo Kong finally makes his Impact Wrestling debut, and his in-ring debut against Chris Silvio. Congo Kong dominated that match, beat Chris Silvio with a big splash from the top rope. Congo Kong looked pretty good in this match, pretty dominant, and he sure made an impact.